Hey guys, so I'm back with another process video for you. So for this layout, I really wanted to try and use up some of the what I have left of the Fancy Pants Happy Place collection and the Prism collection by Basic Gray. So I started by using this big piece of paper from the Fancy Pants collection and I just stuck it on a white background, and now I'm using my palette knife with some gesso to add it on the page so I can protect the page and get it ready for watercolor to be put on it, because I love watercolor. So my original idea was just to add paint to the middle there, so I only added gesso at that point in that area, but then I decided that I want the whole mustardy yellow thing going on to be a bit faded out, but I won't necessarily add paint to that whole section. So I'm just using my palette knife and trying to get a distressed sort of look. So I want some places to have more paint than others, so the color can peek out a bit more. And then I'm coming with my watercolors, and I'm going to use this bright pink. I'm just doing the packaging technique, and I want to combine some nice bright bold colors with the sort of mustardy tone that's in the Fancy Pants collection, and then the sort of creamish tones that are in the Basic Gray collection. So I'm just picking and choosing my favorite colors. So there's pink, yellow, and green, and this piece of packaging I'm using isn't really efficient. So I'm just using a little spray bottle with water to spread the paint around. I'm dabbing it up and using my paintbrush occasionally to add more paint onto the page, and so on. So I'm going to work on this for a bit, and then I'm also going to add some splatter, or maybe not. Nope. But I keep adding more paint, and now I wanted a blue color, and I'm not sure which one. I wasn't sure which one I wanted, so I pulled out my testing little swab thing, I don't know what you call that, and picked this one and just added some blue onto the page, and a lot of water pulled up because I was using that spray bottle. So that spray bottle is actually meant for like a shower cream or stuff like that to bring on traveling trips, on trips basically. But I decided to add water and use it for my scrapbooking. So there's that. Now I'm going through the Prism collection, so everything's all dry, and I am going to use these 3 pieces of paper, and they were already cut out, so I just decided to use them and make 3 clusters. So my idea was that there would be a photo on one, the title on the other, and then journaling on the third one. Not in that row specifically, but that was the plan. And I'm not sure what else I want to add, so I am also going to add some stuff from the Rise and Shine. No, it's the +1 6x6 paper pad by Amy Tangerine, because it's not it's super old. I think it was 2013, but I just got it 6 months ago, so it's really new to me. And I love it, and it has those bright colors, so I'm going to incorporate some elements from there to just freshen up the Prism collection a bit and the Fancy Pants collection. So I decided I'm going to use this photo because I can cut it down so that it is smaller than the biggest piece of paper I have, and it mats the photo. So there's some oranges in there, then there's a lot of different colors in our swimsuits, so I thought it worked well. Okay, so then I also added that black cut apart is from the Prism collection, and then the little strips at the top are from the Fancy Pants collection, and those were already cut. Again, they're just scrap pieces. And now I wanted to add something a little bit more, so I'm using this tissue paper, and I crinkle it up to add some more texture, and I'm going to match this cut apart with it. But that tissue paper isn't going to stay there, even though I'm even going to staple it, I think. I don't know where I've gone. I'm going to get my stapler. Okay, so I stapled that, I believe. And I'm not really liking it because that makes the cut apart too big in comparison with the piece of paper there. So I'm going to get the staple out very painfully. Or I think I even got a new piece of tissue paper, and I decided to just mat the paper with the tissue paper. and I really like how that turned out. So then it all needed to be matted, of course, because just one would be absurd, in my mind at least. So I am going to go ahead and mat the other pieces as well in a bit. So here I go, just taking another piece, and I'm not crinkling them anymore. I don't know if I forgot or just didn't like it. So I'm matting that top piece, and then I thought maybe those two would be enough, but nope, I have to mat the photo as well. So I fold the pieces, and then I just put a staple in the middle just to keep everything together, because messing with glue is just too much of a fuss. And then when I finally decide that I like that look, I'm going to go ahead and glue the paper on to the tissue paper. So there's that. Yeah, I decided I like it, so I'm gluing that down. And then I am going to glue the bottom one down, and then I believe I'm going to mat the third piece of paper. Yep, that is what I'm gonna do. It's coming up in just a bit. Here it is. So I'm cutting another piece of that tissue paper. This tissue paper, by the way, is from IKEA and is obviously meant to be used for gift wrapping and such, but of course I will not use it for that. So I'm using my staple again, and I'm going to mat the piece of paper. It just makes the papers pop a bit more from the background, and it also gives a sort of lift to the photos, even though that's not like what the photos didn't really need lifting, but I just like how they make them. I mean, not the photos, the paper. I like how the paper pops a bit more when it's on another mat than on that nice bright background. So I'll glue that down too. And now I am going to just stare at the layout and try to decide what I'm going to do. Oh, I also added those same two strips that I have at the top. I also added them at the bottom. So now I'm looking at this chipboard set, and this is from Maggie Holmes, the confetti line. And I really liked how that butterfly looked on the page, but I just couldn't make it work eventually. So I held it there, and then I held it down there for a gazillion hours, but that did not strike me. What did I just say? Anyway, I didn't like looking at it I didn't like how it looked on the page. Okay, I finally said what I wanted to say. And I tried that number, and I didn't like that either, because this picture is from the first day of like the swimming season. So we have training from September till July. So this was the first training of September. So we have August off. And then this is the first day we went back after the summer break. So that is what my title is going to be, first day back. So I'm just using these awesome Wonder thickers, and they are gorgeous black foam thicker. And I don't know what's taking me so long to spell out the title. I didn't do a very good job of editing this now, did I? Anyway, so I'm adding the letters there. Oh, I was talking to my sister, because of course she has to pester me when I'm scrapbooking. Okay, so I'm trying to like sort of center these and line them up, but obviously that's not working out the first time around, so I'm going to move them a bit right there, and I'm just to line them up because the top, each line is a bit shorter than the one underneath it, so I'm just trying to center them onto each other. So the day should be in the center of back and first, and they all should all be straight, but I don't think they're very straight at the moment. I don't think I'm going to straighten them out anymore. I don't know. Okay, so my page wasn't completely and utterly dried when I started making this, but it was pretty dry. So before I glue anything down, I wanted to make sure everything was dry so there wouldn't be a problem in the future. So to glue the tissue paper, I'm just using a twist and glue that also glues pretty well in mixed media and gesso. And I didn't use my ATG because ATG does not go well with tissue paper. I'm telling you, I've tried it. It does not work. So I'm just using a liquid glue. And then I'm going to glue down this cutter part. I'm only going to glue that cutter part down onto the piece of paper at the moment, so I can move it around and see where I want the big cluster there to go. And now I'm going to glue down the strips with this Zig 2-way glue pen because the ATG was too big for it and the liquid glue was too liquid and would get everywhere, so I was using the glue pen. Okay, so I've seen to disappear again. I'm going to come back in just a bit, and I think I'm going to glue down that main photo as well. No, actually, what am I doing? Interesting. Okay, I don't know. I think the page wasn't dry yet, so I had to walk away and wait for it to dry. And I should have edited that out, guys. I'm sorry. And then here I am again gluing stuff down. Well, I think I'm gonna glue this stuff down. Yeah, so I'm starting with the strips so I know where I can, because I know where the strips want to go, so I'm gonna glue down the strips and then I'm gonna glue down the cluster so it's in the same position. It's in a position that I like, close related to the strips there. So then I'm going back to that confetti chipboard and I'm trying that banner, but I do not like how it looks. And then there's this heart, but that's not going to work either. And then I wanted to add some a black element to the top there because there was black in the middle section and there was black at the bottom, but there wasn't anything at the top, and I wanted to attract some more attention to that. So I'm going to use that photo op piece at the top and the You Make Me Spy. See, I tried the ATG and I wanted to like throw it out the window on the tissue paper, but yeah. And then I added that pink You Make Me Smile. And okay, so the pink one is from the family set, from the Me and My Big Ideas waterfall pack. And okay, so I switched that black one because it was too heavy to that Today. And that's from the travel set, from the Me and My Big Ideas Mamby Chips. And I'm doing my journaling in a Staedtler Pigment Liner 0.1 pen, and I'm sure you can see my head there. And I added the date to the bottom cut part and just my journaling to the top. And that journaling sort of brings in the black element. So, and there's that little Today on the chipboard piece that's in black. So I wanted the bottom part to be heavy, so just a bit of black is okay at the top for me. And I did underline my journaling there, and I am going to see if there's what else I can add to the page. So I find these what are they called, wood veneer stars that I had in my stash, and then I'm pulling out some sequins, and these are some I don't even know where those came from because Laura Rumble sent them to me in December, I believe. So I don't know where she got them from, but I love them. They are gorgeous. So I tried to incorporate them on the layout, but I'm not sure they made it because they just didn't really match on this one. Okay, so now I'm getting my glue ready, and I'm going to glue down those stars because I like how those look. And then I'm going to add some enamel dots. So I think I'm going to add one in the center of that camera. I'm going to add one by the title. I should be adding one by the title. And no, maybe I just added one in the camera. Okay, so then I'm going to add some splatter. So I'm doing pink, and then I don't think I'm going to do another color. No, I'm going to do blue. So I did pink and then damped it up because it was, again, too watery. And then I'm doing some blue. And then what else? Let's see. I'm going to do some green. There we go. And these are the same colors that I used I used the packaging technique for. And I am going to dab these up, I believe, because they're too bold. But I'm either going to dab them up or they're going to dry a lot lighter because I don't remember the layout looking like that when I made it. And then I felt like that it needed a border, so I'm using my pigment Staedtler liner, whatever it's called, in the 1.0 tip. So that's going to complete my layout. Here are some pictures of the layout so you can see them in more detail. So if you like to get notifications from when I have new videos, don't forget to hit subscribe. If you like my video, I would really appreciate if you gave me a thumbs up. And I always love reading your comments and interacting with my viewers. So if you have anything to say at all about the layout or about my channel, just leave me a comment below and I will reply sooner or later. So thanks for watching and see you next time.